On today's episode, I have a client so picky, he sent back his guitar to get one more fret.
Just kidding.
Today we are renecking a guitar, and normally the cost for this would be, I'd say $1,000 is on the very conservative side because a new neck was made, has to be fit, new nut, etc., etc. But, that's not exactly how this one is going. Let's look. Now you might remember this guitar from my 5 Fender pickups video. This is a largely Fender inspired guitar by the maker Trent out of the UK. I did everything I could to set this guitar up. It took a lot of work trying to get the neck dialed in because it turns out he got a bum batch of wood for these necks. They're very unstable, very flexible, and we're never able to dial it in exactly as the owner liked. It plays pretty good, but not amazing. And speaking of amazing customer service, here we have a new neck for this guitar. The neck is not drilled for anchors, there is no nut, and the profile of the heel is going to be larger than that of the neck pocket so that it can be dialed in by myself. Now, on cursory first inspection, the neck looks straight as it should, and hopefully it cooperates throughout this process. Let's get going. There is actually a gap in this neck pocket, so the new one, though supposedly larger, might actually fit fine. We shall see. Now, making a neck is the most labor-intensive and difficult part of guitar building, and the most critical to the playability of the instrument, and so replacing a neck for a small-time builder is probably a pretty big hindrance, a lot of extra work. And it looks like he even threw in an extra fret this time. I'll also mention, coming back to the great debate about the Fender cease and desist drama that's going on right now, this is a great example of taking inspiration from Fender products while doing something creative. You wouldn't never mistake this for a Fender, but elements of it are very Fender-like. It's got offset, Strat, Jazzmaster, Telecaster, all sorts of different things that lean towards Fender design, headstock even, the Kluson tuners, but it's very much not a Fender and wouldn't be mistaken for one. Another thing I'll say about the original neck on this guitar is that it was very seasonally volatile, and I actually live in a place that's fairly consistent in terms of humidity and temperature, especially as compared to England where the neck was made. But given seasonal changes, heat, air conditioning, humidity, the neck would move a lot. It just couldn't be tamed. So you do a complete fret level crown and polish, string it up, change the tension of a couple strings, and it's change the weather, it's change the tuning, it's etc. As you can see, it's a true bolt-on neck, so we're going to have to install anchors in the other neck, but of course, not until the neck is properly fitted. Let's see if this just magically fits. It's still a little wide. Just noticed something. One of the gripes I had in my Fender video was the location of the truss rod access, and for this guitar, I made a custom guard with a hex keyhole, and I added access here so you wouldn't have to take off the neck to adjust the truss rod. On the new neck, the truss rod nut is on the headstock side. But as I mentioned, there was this gap on this side of the neck pocket, and so there is a little bit of overhang still from this pick guard. So I'm just sanding it back and seeing if magically the guard itself is creating the hindrance for the new neck. It's a good starting point anyway. Wow, okay. It's still a little too tight, but it's pretty close. I'm just gonna have to sand the neck pocket just a little bit, but first I'll check the alignment of the neck. And as I learned in my 3rd bridge video, this mini Bic lighter makes a perfect sanding call for these exact curves. We do have new hardware, but we'll do a test piece and see exactly what hole size we need to drill. I'm thinking 1/4 inch is probably correct. We don't like that, do we? I do notice on the original neck, these holes are chamfered, but I'm gonna try one more size up before I decide. Yeah, I think that is more appropriate. There is still damage, so I will chamfer the holes. That's all. By refitting the screw, I can see how much clearance I need to drill into the new neck. Looks like at least 12 millimeters. I added a tiny little guide hole in the middle of each of these markings so that the drill bit registers. Now at this point, I only have the screws about 95% in, and I'm gonna put my straight edge up against them, make sure they're straight before I tighten it all the way down. I found two good little offcuts that will work, but I'm thinking the unbleached matches the inlays and headstock the best. So that's what we're gonna go for. It's a little too tight, which is exactly what you want. That way I can dial it in with a little sandpaper. Great. Did anyone see where that went? I'm actually going to wait till the strings are on to determine exactly where to put the string tree, because no telling if the geometry will be the same. Yo, feet. Now, if you've got an adjustable drill, set your chuck to the lightest setting, and therefore it'll skip out instead of strip out.
Once I was full of all sin, now through the blood I'm clean. Willing to save me, pardon He gave me, and I am happy with Him. Long I resisted His grace, in my heart gave Him no place. But Jesus saw me till He had brought me, penitent taking His face.
Uses the elusive 1.3 millimeter hex key. Dialing in a setup on a never before used neck is a dubious task because it's probably going to keep shifting for a little while. So I am going to leave it at tension. Hi, Booger. Right now I just have the nut slots scored in. They're not to depth either. So I need to slot those to depth. But again, it relies on the neck being in the position and tension it's going to be in, because any slight curvature change will change the height off the first fret. So we don't want to get it too dialed before it's used to tension. You can install the string tree though. Nothing like a false feeling of accomplishment by doing something simple. All right, at this point I've been ignoring the Trent for 2 or 3 days because I don't want the truth to be that it needs a full fret level and that the neck will be volatile like the last one, so the fret level Won't be possible to do accurately without the Stumac neck jig that I already sold. So we're gonna have a look and hope for the best. Okay, this is kind of what I feared was happening. The treble side is flat, but we come over to the bass side and there is relief, 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 relief. So what that means is I tighten the truss rod and the treble side will have back bow and the bass side will straighten out. Unacceptable. Let's forget about it for a minute and finish the nut. We're going to file the nut slots down until they get to 0.02 inches or a half a millimeter. And after that, we will dial our plain strings down even further. All right, with the height of the action at the first fret dialed in, now we can pull off the nut and polish it. The first step here is radiusing it so that these slots aren't as deep as they are now. They're definitely deeper on the E's, and so we're gonna bring the radius to the top. Next up, I am dialing back the back, giving it sort of a curve because these slots are deeper in the back, of course. So we're just going to give it a nice comfortable curve around to the front. Now, thankfully, unlike a Fender nut, which is this narrow, this one has a flat bottom slot. Flat bottom slot. So I don't have to make it curved and even weaker. Next, I'm curving over the corners because they can be a little sharp on the hand. And I will get the front edge just a tiny bit with the light grit. And we can move on to polishing. I didn't actually polish it, I just sanded it up to 1500 grit. All right, I adjusted the action. I lowered it on the treble side. We're down to 1.25 millimeters. Then 1.5, 1.5, 1.75, 2, so at this point, the action is acceptable. We're getting buzzing on that E. This is a new neck from England. It may play itself into better playability. I think I want to call the client and have him take it home for a while before we take more extreme measures, which would mean a full fret level. Presumably, it was all leveled from new, crowned and polished, but that is not something I feel like doing right now. We're gonna see if the client likes it. Obviously that E vibration's not gonna be his favorite. Maybe just a fraction of a millimeter higher and it will stop. Again. So the way the neck is sitting now, the bass side is dead flat. And the treble side is dead flat up to around the 12th fret, maybe a little further. And then there's actually some fall away, which ideally would be on the bass side. By fall away, I mean like there's a pivot point here where it actually gets lower. The frets are lower beyond, say, the 14th fret, which is great on a bass side. On treble side, it's much less necessary. The owner of this guitar is a gigging musician very regularly, and he loves this guitar, but has never quite got along with the neck because it had all those issues. This is the new neck. This is supposed to be the solution. So I have a feeling this will come back for a full level. For the time being, I'm gonna demo it, put a drop of glue under the nut, get that stuck, and put on some new strings. Okay, didn't look at what the amp was set to. I have the amp set to EQs all the way up, reverb's down. Just clean, no interference. Let's try some boost. Let's get our boost volume all the way up. Lol. This feels silly, but it's actually pretty functional. Now, as I mentioned, I contacted the owner. He came and picked it up. He did some initial tests and gave me a little feedback, and we're gonna give it some time. He's gonna play it, and then we'll decide whether we go for a fret level TBD. Thank you for watching. Thank you to patrons and YouTube channel members. Thank you to people who checked out my album on Bandcamp and downloaded it. You can download it for free, or you can buy it. Either way, if you enjoy it, please download it. It's about time you owned your own music again. If you're wondering why I only ever use my own band's music in my videos, it's because there's automatic copyright detection that occurs on YouTube, and I've tried to promote several of my friends' bands and other people who I enjoy and run into delays posting because I have to dispute the copyright first. So that's why.